Good morning, dear students of Senior 1. Today, I'm going to explain for you the present simple tense. Look at this title, New Walk on the Moon. Astronauts land on plane, collect rocks, plant flag. What is the title talking about? What does this title talk about? The title is talking about a new walk on the moon. And astronauts land on the moon, searching and collecting rocks and plant flag. Which tense is used here? Which tense is used in this newspaper? New walk on the moon. Astronauts land on the moon. Land here. Which tense? What's the name of this tense? Present simple, past simple. Present simple tense. The present simple tense used. We want to talk about when do we use the present simple tense. C. Jensen, who plays the detective, dies in car crash. It's effect or description. I'm describing now how does he die. Say Jensen, who plays the detective, dies in a car crash. So I use the present simple tense when I describe something that happened. The fact, it's effect. The fact is that he plays a detective, and the fact that he dies in a car. That's why when I'm talking about effect, I have to use the present simple tense. Polar bears do not live in hot places. It's the effect. That's why we use the present simple tense. And the present simple tense in the first sense is in the negative. Polar bears do not live in hot places. They live in the North Pole. It's the effect. That's why we use the present simple tense here. They live in the North Pole. When I want to ask a question, how can I ask a question here? They eat fruit and vegetables. Do they eat fruit and vegetable, or do they live in the North Pole? No, they don't. They eat fish. No, they don't. They eat fish. We use the present simple tense to refer to a habit. When do you usually do your homework? What do you do on Fridays? I usually do my homework immediately after school. So when we are talking about a habit, we have to use the present simple tense. The present simple tense is used for repeated action, the action which is repeated, or daily routine, usually with time expressions such as every day she plays tennis at the weekends. We here find with the pronouns he and she and it, we have to add s to the verb. That's why we say she plays tennis at the weekends. It's a repeated action or daily routine for her. So when we talk about repeated action or daily routine, we have to use the present simple tense. Every week, every Monday. When else can we use the present simple? The train dots tonight at 6 p.m. The train leaves tonight at 6 p.m. Can we use the present simple tense to express the future? Yes, we can use the present simple tense to express the future with schedule. The train here uses a schedule. It leaves in a certain time, comes in a certain time. That's why we can use the present simple tense to express the future. Correct the verbs. The bus not arrive at 11 a.m. It arrives at 11 p.m. The bus not arrive. How can we change into negative here in the present simple tense? The bus here is it doesn't arrive. The bus doesn't arrive at 11 a.m. It arrives at 11 p.m. Interrogative. How can we form a question? When does we board the plane? When do we board the plane? The party starts at 8 o'clock. How can you correct start here? The party starts. Or if it is a question, does the party start? It is a question. Does the party start? When the class begin tomorrow? When does the class begin tomorrow? Time markers. How often do we use always, usually, frequently, often, sometimes, occasionally, never? Okay, adverb of frequencies. Adverb of frequency. Always, sometimes, often, usually, never, rarely, seldom. We use them before the main verb. The position of these adverb of frequencies, they come before the main verb. They come before any verb except verb to be. They come after it. But after verb to be, all the adverbs of frequencies come after verb to be and before the main verbs. After verb to be, after auxiliary, after verbs or model verbs. They go before auxiliary verbs. E.g., Susan goes skiing at the weekend. Often. Wanted to use often. When do we use often here? Susan? Uh, Kim is rude to other people. When do we sometimes? Kim is sometimes rude to other people. You can call me if you need help. Always. Do you help your mother with house work? Usually. Usually, often, sometimes, normally, and occasionally can go at the beginning or at the end of the sentence for more emphasis. E.g., usually I finish work at 5. We find usually here at the beginning of the sentence. Or I feel bored sometimes. That's why we find usually, sometimes, and often can be used in the beginning or at the end of any sentence. Other, every day, every week, every month, on Mondays, at the weekend, once a week, or once a year, etc. Go to the beginning or the end of a sentence also. We can use them either at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. E.g., we go on holiday twice a year. The adverbs never, seldom, and rarely have a negative meaning and are never used with the word not. We can't use never and not in the same sentence, or seldom and not in the same sentence, rarely and not in the same sentence. We mustn't use not with them at all. E.g., I rarely go to bed. Complete with the present simple. In this country, it rarely snow in winter. So here, as we agree that the verb with he, she, and it should get S. In this country, it rarely snows in winter. Number 2, does the shop close late on Thursday? How can you form a question here? Do the shop close late on Thursday? Number 3, I'm sorry, but I not dance. I'm sorry, but I don't dance. Number 4, dots firefighters wear uniforms. Do the firefighters wear uniforms? Number 5, the plane leave at 7 o'clock. The answer is the plane leaves at 7 o'clock. We usually spend our holidays by the sea. She not listen to this kind of music. Does he watch the news every evening? Does he drink milk every morning? He always does pay in cash.